Hello everybody. Today I'm taking green wood and making it into a finished product. This is American cypress here, which is a very hard product to work with in its green state. So you have to sit here and do work to it. You have to cut it. After you cut it from the tree, you got to get it fairly straight. Once you get it sawed into the piece you need, I went ahead and sent it through the planer to remove the roughest edge of the saw cut. Make sure it's fairly square before I set it out to dry. This one here was drying in the sun for about 6 months. And I will appreciate the hot summer days we had in Texas this year, because it dried it out really fast. You know, yeah, I did get a little mildew on here, but that is expected. You know, you leave it out, it's going to get wet again, and it can mildew. The next stage I did from this, once it got to a point where I checked it on the meter, it said it was 6%. Wow, fast drying. But 100-degree temperatures every day for 6 months will do it. I went it back through the planer, got it fairly straight. There is small little cracks on the ends, so I needed to work with that. I went ahead and cut them into strips. After cutting them into strips, I took and rotated them, got all my cuts and cracks out of it, glued it back together so it's a solid piece. You will also need to make sure your grains are set up a little bit different from each other. This helps if your grains are not all running the same, because especially with any kind of wood, if you've got all your grains running the same direction, you may have it cup, warp, but by rotating them, they have less chance of doing that for you. So I had it let it dry, I remilled it, I sawed it. Some of these, before I glued them, I had to run through the joiner. It wasn't quite perfectly straight with the saw. Clamped them up, glued it. After gluing and dried, the next day I went and ran it back through the planer again. So I had two flat surfaces again, parallel with each other. And then I took it over to the CNC, a simple 3/4 depth mill with a 1/4 inch bit. Didn't take very long at all to do that. And now I have a catch-all tray. And this was all done in 6 months, from green wood to a finished product. Wasn't bad. Catch-all tray for me, I wanted something at the end of the day, throw my keys, my loose change, and making it easy for me to pick it up in the mornings, put it back in my pockets, and ready to go the next day. This was easier than buying something special for this area or throwing it on the table. Is taking wood from the tree worth it to most people? I would say no. Because you got to be able to have a saw to cut it off the tree. Then you have to cut it into board lumber. It is a time-consuming process to let it dry. I mean, I got a piece of cedar here that I've been working on too. Haven't decided what it's going to make yet, but I got dried cedar. And you can see real quick, I do have some issues I got to work with later when I get ready to make it into something. And people are like, still, is it worth it? Well, I want you to go to the box store and start buying lumber. It don't take long when you're spending 40, 50 bucks to consider, is buying trees worth it to you? You can go find lumber, raw wood, right on the side of the street. A lot of times people are just throwing it out. I got some pecan I'm going to work with later. And this is, to me, something fun to do. I get to sit there, cut it, and get it going. And anytime I have pieces that warp too bad, if I can't use them, I got a fire pit. I'll throw them in the fire pit and enjoy the fire. To me, it's worth the time and effort to go through and do this. Now the question is it worth it to you? I would say that's up to you. For now, I'll talk to you later. Bye.